Bill Maher may have surprised some people in his audience in his show over the weekend because he defended one of Trump's most extreme policies.
While we're near the Middle East, let me ask about a big story that happened while we were off in December. Donald Trump. Today, we finally acknowledged the obvious that Jerusalem is Israel's capital. He said Israel is a sovereign nation with the right, like any other sovereign nation, to determine its own capital. I hate to agree with Donald Trump, and it doesn't happen often, but I do. I don't know why Israel, it has been their capital since 1949. It is where their government is. They've won all the wars thrown against them. I don't understand why they don't get to have their capital where they want.
Really? You don't understand?
Oh, I understand there are repercussions.
I mean, so well, first of all, when you win a war, you don't get to take the other side's land, right, under international law.
Actually, you do.
Under international law, you don't
especially when they were attacked. I mean, the country was divided, which they were okay with. They were attacked more than once, and they took land in those wars that they won. And there has been peace offers on the table ever since to give part of that land back.
What Bill Maher knows is that any two-state deal, which is what they say, oh, yeah, no, we're for a two-state peace deal, two-state solution, it would involve splitting up Jerusalem. Any two-state deal, any conceivable two-state deal, no matter how biased they want it in favor of Israel and how little land they want to give the Palestinians, any two-state deal at all would involve splitting up Jerusalem. You know what that means? We're taking it. We're taking it. Palestinians, be gone. We don't care. And then he goes on to say, when the point is made, you don't get to just take people's land. Even if you say there was a war and I won, you don't just get to take their land. He goes, yeah, they do. Whoa. What? So, curious to hear Bill Maher's take on the Crimea situation then. You know, Russia came in there, took Crimea, and according to Bill Maher's logic, well, sure, it was a war, and they took the land, so it's theirs. What he's doing is he's working backwards from his conclusion. His conclusion is, I'm on Israel's side, I like Israel, therefore, yeah, whatever they do, I'll just make rationalizations and justifications for it, and I'll say that's the way it should be. And listen, it's actually Hamas even for years now has said, okay, we'll take the two-state deal along the 1967 borders. You know who says no? Israel. Israel said no. Now, why? Because this is the game they play. They always go, oh, we're in favor of a two-state deal. I know what you mean, bro. We're totally in favor of a two-state deal, bro. But then when Palestinians go, okay, we'll take the 1967 borders, two-state deal, let's do it now. They always say no. Why? Because they're not really in favor of it. Their long-term goal is permanent occupation and apartheid, and yes, ethnic cleansing. It's not that hard to see. I mean, all the time you get new stories of, a new illegal settlement being built, more Palestinians being kicked off their land. Under international law, all of the land that Israel is on post-1947 is illegal. They're not allowed to be on that land. But the Palestinians are willing to say, okay, we'll even give you more than that, 1967. You can get everything up to the 67 borders. And Israel still says no. So the Palestinians, they try to negotiate directly with Israel. Israel says, no, we're not going to give you any of that. Then there's a violent reaction, and they go, I can't believe you're fucking being violent. All we did was steal your land and kick you off of it. I can't believe you're being violent in your reaction. That's crazy. And nothing works that way. And then when they try to go to the UN, Israel goes, I can't believe you're going to the UN. Why don't you come negotiate directly with us? What? And then now all hope for a two-state solution is gone when you say, well, we're going to take all of Jerusalem, and it is our undivided capital. So what Bill Maher is saying is, I'm not in favor of a two-state solution. If you push him on and say, are you in favor of a two-state solution? He'll say, yeah. But then when you bring up to him every potential two-state solution involves splitting up Jerusalem, he'll go, he doesn't have anything to say to it. Because Bill Maher agrees with Likud. Bill Maher agrees with the Jewish Home Party, which, by the way, is ultra-fundamentalist Orthodox Jews who say all of this land is ours and God gave it to us. Bill Maher agrees with Likud, agrees with Netanyahu, agrees with the far right of Israel. He doesn't care about Palestinians. He doesn't care that they've been under an illegal occupation for decades. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. In 2014, there was a bomb fest in Gaza where Netanyahu killed 80% civilians, including 500 children. Bill Maher was defending Netanyahu doing that. Say, well, it's a war. Stuff happens in war. What do you want? What do you want them to do? Why are you holding Israel to a higher standard? Holding Israel to a higher standard? I'm against anybody who kills 80% civilians, you jackass. So what happened to being Mr. Liberal and Mr. I'm against the establishment and I'm against orthodoxy? You are right in line with orthodoxy right now. You're defending Donald Trump. And then guess what? You know what's going to happen. You know what's going to happen. Violence is going to break out when Palestinians go, okay, you're giving us no option. You keep taking more and more of our land. You're not in favor of a peace deal. Violence is going to break out. They're going to retaliate against Israelis. And then Bill Maher will come out there and clutch his pearls and go, oh my gosh. Well, who could have seen such a thing coming? Israel was being so reasonable. Good golly. And I can't believe that these animals, these savages on the Palestinian side, are doing senseless violence. But on this one, he goes, well, I hate religion and Islam is the worst, overrides my hate of Republicans. So I agree with Donald Trump because this decision is nothing but a giant fuck you to Palestinians and Arabs and specifically Muslims. So that's what's painting Bill Maher's vision of this conflict, and it's really gross to see. It's really disgusting. Again, it's seriously hard to wrap my mind around the fact that Bill Maher just argued. When somebody pointed out, you don't just get to take people's land, he was like, yeah, you do. What? What? This is the guy who, when Bush did the illegal war in Iraq, was against Bush 1,000,000% and argued against him vociferously. And he said this is an illegal invasion and you're occupying their land. And, you know, this logic that Bill Maher is using is like if George W. Bush said, we are permanently going to annex Baghdad. It's just ours now. Would Bill Maher have said, yeah, hey, we won, we fought a war, we won, and now we're taking Baghdad. What's the problem? I don't see a problem. He would have been against that 1,000,000%. But when Israel does it somehow, oh, no, it's totally fine. Something, because they're the victim. Yes, the people that have all the power in the region, multi-billion-dollar deals with the U.S. government, they have our weapons, they have our military backing them. They are under the boot of the people that have no power and no money and got kicked off their own land. Man, he's fucking delusional on this issue. To the point where he'll agree with Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu, yet he thinks he's keeping it real.